to 2 p.m. Price and participation vary by location. Taxes extra. See menu for details.
Looking for a better way to get around LA? SoCal 511 gives you real-time traffic alerts to help you find faster ways to get around LA County. It's totally free and helps motorists easily find fast track and roadside assistance services. Visit go511.com or dial 511 on your phone.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A bad night for both of LA's NBA teams, and both of them are still looking for their first road win this season. The Lakers were spanked in Houston last night. They lost by 34. Anthony Davis did not play. Muscle spasms in his left hip. His status for Friday's game in Phoenix is uncertain. The Lakers are 0-5 on the road. The Clippers lost by 7 at Brooklyn. They committed 6 of their 15 turnovers in the fourth quarter. 12 points and 5 assists for James Harden. The Clippers are 0-4 on the road. Major League Baseball now has 2 black managers, Dave Roberts of the Dodgers and Ron Washington of the Angels. The 71-year-old Washington was hired by the Angels on Wednesday. Washington was Atlanta's third base coach the past 6 seasons. He managed the Texas Rangers from 2007 to 2014. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
He's $1 million. All right. Feel like it too, nigga. Yup. Yeah. Let's go. Yo, get it while you young. Broad day, dipping in the sun. Came a long way, look at where we from. It's only just begun. The path saying we already won. There's still time, go get it while you young. Get it while you young. Broad day, dipping in the sun. Came a long way, look at where we from. We only just begun. Yeah, we already won. Yo. Know these streets so well, I slide through them with my eyes closed. Even in my worst dreams, I can find home. Ain't shit crazy, that's just how it goes. Switch it up, can't be lazy. Moms pick up a baby, playing slide stone. Them everyday people digging, trying to mine gold. But gold diggers pay admission, now the line's closed. The bad bitch pay attention when the smile's low. This next mission might switch a nigga time zone up. So what? No risk, no prize, no luck. Roll the dice, I'm a product of where I've grown up. You gotta keep it low key for they size y'all up. Cause the last thing we needed it was eyes on us. It's full circle enterprise and my guys I trust. Better try playing B for y'all try y'all luck. Triple degree heat. Them summers hit different for niggas who can't speak. On them walls saying get it while you young.
KBLA Talk 1580. That's Miles Lowe, his new music. Miles Lowe Music is where you can find it. You can see him back there running things around here. I'm Dominique DePrima. I love that. That was our Wealth Building Wednesday spotlight on yesterday. If you missed that interview, you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. Learn a little bit more about the young artist, Miles Lowe Music. So, yeah, let's talk about it. What's on your mind today? 800-920-1580. It's so funny to me that as soon as the Republican also-rans finished their debate, Trump said he's not going to be at the third one either. He is so brilliant at making it all about him. Like, as soon as they finished talking, he didn't go, but he was like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to those losers at the next conversation either. Only 5 of them made it to the stage in Miami. But, I mean, even though Nikki Haley is moving up in the polls, they're still not even anywhere close to being within striking distance. So unless he literally, just disintegrates or something, or decides that he's going to go, get a new career, he's their nominee. I don't see how Trump is not the nominee for the Republican Party. It seems like, is it the race for vice president? Is it just people trying to sell books? I don't see how you gain against Trump if he won't even join you in the debates. Although Nikki Haley has, she's moved up. She's, what is she, like, in some polls around 7% and some a little higher than that. It was, I didn't look at the whole thing. It was amusing. I think it was interesting that, Viveck Ramaswamy drew boos when he tried to go in on Nikki Haley's kid. Why are you monitoring what Nikki Haley's child does on TikTok? That's creepy. To me, that should be a disqualifier for president right there. Why are you worried about what my kid is doing on TikTok? Gross. Disgusting. I'm glad they booed, and that's probably going to help her. She called him, I think, scum. You gotta love that when they get down to the name calling. And they were all, trying to reposition themselves on abortion, trying to tap dance around that issue after we saw Republicans take a beating, including Daniel Cameron, LOL, in Kentucky, around the elections on Tuesday. And a lot of it was because of the abortion conversation, the overturning of Roe versus Wade. The Dobbs decision is not going away. And I do think it's going to be a factor. It was kind of the DeSantis and Nikki Haley show, but it's still the elephant in the room is still, he who shall not be named. Stunningly so, remains the front runner, even though he's in court acting up. Right? I mean, who does that? Disparaging the judge, not answering their questions. It's like he's turning this trial into his own reality show on his social media and, in the press, because even though it's not televised live, we hear the crazy things he's saying during the trial. It's like he's using it to make his persona bigger rather than worrying about whether or not he'll be convicted. Well, I guess it makes sense because the judge has already said that clearly there's fraud in the way they were reporting their the valuations of their properties. So it's really like, just how bad are your fines going to be? How big a hit is the Trump organization going to take? That said, if I'm a judge and you're talking smack about me all day, I'm probably less likely to give you a favorable outcome. I'm just saying. I was taking a look at some of these things that are going on around and about. We can talk about any of them. I feel like I'm not even getting caught up with all that's going on. There's a preliminary hearing for A$AP Rocky's case. He's pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of assault with a firearm for allegedly shooting his homie in the hand, his friend, this guy that he's known since high school. And it sounds like, I was reading about this, it sounds like there's so much beyond what the actual charges are. When you have a crew and one guy blows up and gets really famous and, has babies by Rihanna, and the rest of the crew is still struggling and not really doing that well. What is that? What is, what is Rocky's obligation to his crew? Does he have to reach back? Is he giving people enough credit for their role in his fame? And it sounds like there's all of that tied up in it, not just these particular charges. And, I'm not claiming to be an expert on all of the ASAP folks because it's a bunch of them. But I wish that they can work these things out as brothers and no one has to get shot or go to jail or, one person tear another one down because they don't feel like they're getting their due. He's facing serious charges. But it seems like, anytime you see this with crews, anytime one person really blows up and the other ones are struggling, it's going to be some stuff. In court, out court, groups breaking up, managers quitting, taking sides. I hate to see it. Man. Yeah, Biden's not doing good in the polls. I'm glad the Republican Party did well anyway, and I'm mad at him for his foreign policy, as I've said many times. But, again, I don't think we track the things that he does do. Last week, Biden nominated 2 more black women judges, Judge Jacqueline Sneed. These nominations are important because they are game changers in terms of the number of black women on the bench. Jacqueline Austin is the other one, and Julie Sneed. One for the district court in Florida, one for the district court in South Carolina. Continuing a trend that Biden has done of nominating more black women to the federal bench than anyone. That's not a nothing. And I say it not to say, oh, well, so therefore we should forgive him for his missteps. I say it because I hear too many of us saying that the Biden-Harris administration hasn't done anything for us, and that actually isn't true. Maybe it's not enough. Maybe there are key issues that move you in a different direction. I'm struggling with the Biden administration's response to the crisis in the Middle East. It makes me not want to vote for him, just as his treatment of Haitian refugees made me not want to vote for him, just like his policy around Cuba makes me not want to vote for him. That's why I think it's important to track those wins. 32 black women to date have been appointed by Biden to lifetime judicial appointments. 32 black women. That's more than anybody. It's not a nothing. These are black women who will be on the bench for life. And I put that in the encouragement column because these are the things we miss. But these things are important. As we've learned time and time again in the past, especially in the past few years, judges matter. Judges matter. Perfect time to call me. I would love to talk to you. You, 800-920-1580. Let's weigh in, KBLA delegation. That's what we do around here. We got a lot to talk about.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward. Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up. Can't sleep with this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need NyQuil Severe Honey.
NyQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste.
Feeling better, honey? Honey? I'll take that as a yes.
Try NyQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu symptom relief. NyQuil Severe with honey flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever. Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold. Medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
I've got to admit, no one does Black Friday like Kohl's. I just shopped their early access deals and saved big. With the 15% off going on, I scored a sweater for under $13 and a throw blanket for just $8.49. Then I got 50% off a few of my favorite Sephora at Kohl's Beauty Finds and earned some Kohl's cash too. These deals are almost over, so don't wait. Get to Kohl's now. Select styles. Offers end November 9th. Sephora, coupons, and Kohl's cash do not apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose America.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
And as I said, it's a perfect time to call me. We do the freestyle phones thing where you can call and change the subject. I threw a few things out there. I don't want to, neglect Elijah McClain. I was so touched by that young man. He was killed by cops just walking down the street because he was wearing a ski mask, because he had a condition that made him get cold, and they decided to throw him down on the ground despite his pleas. And it was just heart-wrenching to me. He said, that's not who I am. It's a young violin player, 23 years old in Colorado. The first officer to come to the scene put him in a carotid hold, a choke hold. Then they shot him up with ketamine, and he died. But one of the cops was acquitted this week. It was a second trial of those officers. And the guy's name is Nathan Woodyard. He was acquitted for reckless manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. He was the first guy to get to the scene. He was the guy that put him in a chokehold. He pleaded not guilty, and a jury agreed. And I get it. Prosecutors thank the jury for, showing up for jury duty. Reminder, note to self, we have to go when they call us. One of the officers was held accountable in this case, but it's still a blow. They say the defense argued that the ketamine was administered by the EMT, so it wasn't the chokehold. But the way that the coroner talked about it was a combination of those things that killed McClain. And the reason the cops went after him is because somebody said he looked sketchy. Somebody said there was no weapon, no one's in danger, but there's a kid and he looks sketchy. And for that death sentence. And it was the body cam footage that was so heartbreaking in that case. I'm sure you remember. He said he couldn't breathe repeatedly. They shot him up with ketamine, and he died several days later. But Officer Randy Rodema, that's the guy's name, he was found guilty of criminally negligent homicide, assault in the third degree. He's going to be sentenced in January. Could do 5 years face $100,000 in fines, and he got fired. But this other guy, so 2 of the 3 were found not guilty, and only 1 held accountable. Let's go to Kwamel, calling us from Gardena. Good morning, Kwamel.
Hey, wanted to make sure I, weighed in before the crazy ADOS crew, jumps all over the chat tomorrow. Yeah, there's not this. I see that thing's going to be a thing. There won't be much room anymore. Let me touch
Well, let me just tell you, people aren't calling. They're in the chat talking smack, but they're not calling. The phone's not ringing, so there's plenty of room.
Yeah, I mean, you saw I was last Friday. I was on them like, okay, like y'all talk all this trash. Go ahead and call. Like, go ahead and burn the line up and let it be known. But y'all want to do these weird pretenses. It's just corny to me that they do that when you easily readily available to call. I even called in just to show. Okay, no, it's not. But weirdos are gonna be weirdos. Shout out to all the FBA and ADOS people out there. But yeah, weirdos are gonna be weirdos. Anyways, so quickly on the debate. Yeah, even though I felt like some voices were kind of moderated, Viveck Ramaswamy is not one of them, and he definitely, even before you said the word, it's like he was just going out of his way to be scummy and be like this hardline A-hat. No pun intended to the battle rap league. But yeah, he was going out of his way to be an A-hat. I'm like, it's not even Trumpian. He's just like the guy's just a full on Richard. And yeah, I don't see why anybody would want to vote for a person like that unless they just wanted to see the world burn.
Have you seen the video of him side by side with Obama, where he literally steals Barack Obama's entire speech? It's on Instagram.
Not yet, but I'm pretty sure it's quite painful, and I'll probably need suppositories when I'm done. Anyways, that was bad. That was
terrible and gross.
That was tacky for morning radio.
Yeah,
but hey, gotta wake y'all up somehow, Los Angeles. So two other ones. Have you been seeing all the complaints about the Lauryn Hill concerts that happened over the weekend? I was at the one on Saturday.
Oh, you went?
And it was interesting. Got a nice suite and was able to chill with self. Me and the friend that went. So that was kind of cool. But it really made me clamor for, okay, Lauryn, it's okay to make new material. But then hearing about what happened with the Miseducation album, which I famously never liked. I never liked that album. I thought that album was horrible personally. Yeah, I thought that album was awful personally.
I love that album. But okay. But yeah. I mean, but did you wait a long time before she came out?
Hilarity will ensue with this. Watch this. Okay, so I ended up in traffic that was leaving the USC game, right?
Oh.
We were stuck there some terrible. It probably took about 45 minutes to get out of it. We were late, but we were right on time.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So you and Lauryn were on the same schedule. So it worked out for you, Kwamel. But I mean, so we're talking about Lauryn Hill. The controversy is that she was 2 hours late for her show, and she has a reputation for being late for her shows all the time. A lot of people feel it's disrespectful to the fans, and reportedly, I didn't see the videotape, but she said, "You guys are lucky I get here at all," or something to that effect.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, she's even said this on the Nas record, like, "Oh, y'all complain about lateness." Like, okay, so Lauryn, this clearly bothers you, right? So why not step up? Or unless you just don't want to work, then
she might need more help. You know what I mean? Maybe she needs a stylist to get her outfit ready in advance. But you know what? Honestly, I love Lauryn Hill. But I've been wondering for quite a while if what are the mental health challenges that she's dealing with, because it's just I've seen performances where it looked like she was going through a thing.
I mean, that could be true, and I think that's been a thing probably since before the Unplugged. I don't want to get into too much inside baseball with her personal life. However, I started just to investigate this because I would always think, like, why not just make a record? Why not talk to Jay Rawls? Why not talk to, somebody to kind of, Q-Tip or somebody that I could give you a sound that's like, ooh, okay. Like, we'd be excited because clearly if people are going to these shows, they'd be excited for a new record. But then I saw the stuff that Robert Glass, that people were bringing up Robert Glasper. I said, okay, Glasper's my guy. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, stealing music. Oh, okay. Okay. You're auditioning and firing good band. That's kind of foul. So it speaks to a lack of accountability on her part. And if you gotta work one damn album for 25 years, there's something you're not doing right. Even though the Nas record proved you still got some art, some dope art in you at that, and could bar out with the best of them. There's just a lack of ability to move forward and do better, and that's kind of trash on her part. One final thing, I know you're approaching the break. To the Israel-Palestine issue and this. And what's been, I don't know if you've sensed a lot of people feeling like you in particular or anyone, that everybody needs to weigh in. So in an organization I work for, we had our meeting on Monday, and our marketing person, kind of, I guess, felt a little stifled, and wondered like if we needed to speak on it. And I said, hold on. Have we historically been weighing in on things as an organization to need to do this? Just based on seeing a few IGs or TikToks that speak forcefully about it, I don't necessarily see why someone needs to come in. I mean, if you're not informed on a matter and you're not passionate on a matter, and you've not been historically doing this sort of thing.
Yeah, if your job is not weighing in on these issues. That's a really interesting point, Kwamel. Why are all these organizations that don't do anything about the Middle East now putting, disclaimers on their websites and putting out statements? It is very interesting. It's odd, crazy times. That's why I call it like McCarthyism. And you know what else it's reminding me? It's reminding me of the OJ trial, because when OJ was on trial, anywhere you went, it was like almost like, let me see your ID. Where do you stand on the OJ trial? It was like the, apartheid pass card. And they wanted to ask you this. And I remember Neely Fuller said the correct answer is, I know two things. 2 people are dead, and I didn't do it.
That is very, I love it. But yeah, why should it be anyone's business if you've chosen to, be silent on a thing because you've historically not been just weighing in on specific matters? You should not feel the pressure to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it is kind of been this whole, litmus test of like, are you team this? Are you team this group?
Right. Kwamel, as always, I appreciate the conversation. Kwamel, call me at 800-920-1580. You can too. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. 5 Republican presidential candidates made their case for the Oval Office last night in the 3rd GOP debate hosted by NBC News. Chris Christie, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Viveck Ramaswamy, and Tim Scott mixed it up over how to handle the southern border, funding for Ukraine, support for Israel, and abortion. Record executive Antonio L.A. Reid is accused of sexual assault and harassment in a new lawsuit. Reid, who is African-American and co-founder of LaFace Records and former chief at Arista, Epic, and Def Jam Records, is named in the suit from former Arista executive Drew Dixon. Dixon claims Reid assaulted her twice in the early 2000s and retaliated against her after she refused his advances. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Looking for a better way to get around LA? SoCal 511 gives you real-time traffic alerts to help you find faster ways to get around LA County. It's totally free and helps motorists easily find fast track and roadside assistance services. Visit go511.com or dial 511 on your phone.
Make your next lunch a lunch combo from Buffalo Wild Wings. Choose from wings, street tacos, and more. Head to Buffalo Wild Wings or order online at buffalowildwings.com at participating locations for a limited time, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Price and participation vary by location. Taxes extra. See menu for details.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A bad night for both of LA's NBA teams, and both of them are still looking for their first road win this season. The Lakers were spanked in Houston last night. They lost by 34. Anthony Davis did not play. Muscle spasms in his left hip. His status for Friday's game at Phoenix is uncertain. The Lakers are 0-5 on the road. The Clippers lost by 7 at Brooklyn. They committed 6 of their 15 turnovers in the fourth quarter. 12 points and 5 assists for James Harden. The Clippers are 0-4 on the road. Major League Baseball now has 2 black managers, Dave Roberts of the Dodgers and Ron Washington of the Angels. The 71-year-old Washington was hired by the Angels on Wednesday. Washington was Atlanta's third base coach the past 6 seasons. He managed the Texas Rangers from 2007 to 2014. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Fernando Valley and beyond. Through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement, the Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
At Susan G. Komen, we believe that ending breast cancer needs all of us working together. Because if you've just been diagnosed and don't know where to turn, we've got you. If you can't afford the treatment you need, we've got you. And if you are driven to honor the loved one you've just lost, we have a place for you here. Because of you, we're supporting those who need help today while tirelessly searching for tomorrow's cures. Visit Komen.org and be a part of our Susan G. Komen community today.
Thinking about hosting a podcast and don't know where to start? Morris Media Studios has you covered. We're a professional podcast and voiceover studio located in Leimert Park. We specialize in recording and live streaming audio and video podcasts. Let us help you set up, record, and distribute your podcast. Hosting a podcast is a great way to bring awareness to your business, product, or good cause. For more info, visit morrismediastudios.com or give us a call at 323-815-4204.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
And you're up now, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Going right to the phones. Let's go to Florence calling us from L.A. Good morning, Florence.
Good morning, and thank you, Dominique. I always appreciate this platform. I just wanted to comment on the conversation about the pressure to pick a side in terms of the Israeli-Palestinian issue. I think it's important. As an educator, I always, challenge students to know who's behind the production of a newspaper or who's behind the financing of a television station, because I think a lot of this is coming from folks who control the media, and therefore they're trying to control our perspective. I also think it's interesting that when the Nuri Martinez thing happened, no one was issuing public statements to denounce it. Even President Biden denounced it. But I didn't see anywhere on school districts' websites that we don't support it. I didn't see it on any of them. So I didn't see that happening, even though that was publicly egregious. But no one was denouncing this, and this is more something to hit home in terms of taking a stance and what we think is equitable and true. So I just wanted to share that.
That's a really interesting perspective, Florence. When do we decide to, take a stance? When do we decide to ostracize people for having one position or the other?
Yes. Yes.
Why is it that some issues merit people losing their jobs, their livelihood, their friends, and others do not? It's really a fair conversation. And to me, the censure of Rashida Tlaib is a glaring example of that. It makes no sense. You have Congress people sitting there who have advocated the overthrow of the U.S. government, who have allied with white supremacist neo-Nazi groups, and we don't censure them. But Rashida Tlaib, who is Palestinian, is not allowed to take a position that you don't agree with. That's what's giving me McCarthyism, and I'm not okay with that.
Absolutely, and the worst part is that how do we demand that people be aware of the issues today when our school systems didn't teach the truth 40 years ago? So if we really talk the truth about who took over these spaces throughout the world, then people wouldn't be trying to figure out which side to take because they know the truth. When we integrated, I always say we didn't integrate content. That was the problem.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Florence. I don't know that we were in charge of the content. I love that these churches are starting to teach Black history. Let's go to Fred calling us from LA. Hi, Fred.
Good morning, Dominique. How you doing, my sister?
Good. What's on your mind?
Yes, you watched the debate last night?
As much as I could stand, which wasn't a lot.
Yeah, my thing is that whoever become the number 2 candidate will have to take on Donald Trump. I think the reason why Donald Trump is not going to debate, I think he feels that Ron DeSantis is going to eat him up on TV.
Well, I mean, it's working for him. If I'm not going to a debate and I'm leading you by 30 points, why would I change my strategy? Right? I mean, it's working for him. His approval ratings are up. He's beating Biden in the polls. He's stomping out these other candidates. Why would he bother to go to a debate? What's in it for him?
Yeah, that's true. And then even though Joe Biden is poll numbers going down, I think it may come up if the blacks and the Latinos get behind him, like we got him in office in 2020. We have to do the same thing. Everybody's got to vote. Democracy is on the line, so we all got to
step
I mean,
to the plate. I don't want to have another Trump presidency either, Fred, but we don't. The thing is, we don't have to. And you're going to have to, you, Biden administration, are going to have to figure out how to reach out to us and make us want to do that. I don't think should or have to is going to fly in 2024.
Yeah. Well, and then the thing that the young people ever said they can't buy a home. I was looking at reading the Epoch newspaper the other day. Gas prices are up.
Be careful about looking on that newspaper, though, Fred. That is a conservative, anti-justice. I mean, if you want to read it, fine. I read the left and the right, but you can't take that at face value. I double check those statistics. In reality, the economy is doing well, but stuff still costs more. So even though the economists can tell us that things are better, the job numbers, unemployment is down, wages are up, unions are having big victories. The fact is, if I go to the store and I can buy less for my paycheck than I could before, I'm not going to be happy about the economy, no matter what the pundits tell me. And, and I think I'm not disagreeing with you, but I feel like the Biden administration can't count on that. Our democracy is at stake. People are tired of hearing that. And even though it may be true, people want deliverables. And they want you to get out of that, what is, the saying 1965 called. They want their politics back, especially when it comes to foreign policy.
Well, we got the elections coming up next year. Do you plan to have George Cascon on your show?
Well, hopefully we'll get all the candidates on the show like we always try our best to do. It's coming right up. That'll be our assignment right after the new year, Fred. Appreciate the call. Go ahead.
Hey, I would say because there's 9 candidates that are looking at George Cascon's job. So you take care and you enjoy your weekend.
Right, and you too. And that's the point I was making, which is that during election season, if you have one of them all on, you have to invite all of them on. So, yeah, would we have all 7,000 district attorney candidates? Absolutely, we would. That's part of our job. Look for that right after the new year because the election this year is in March. Let's go to Jamal calling us from L.A. Hi, Jamal.
Good morning, Miss Dominique Dupree, and God bless you on the front page. And excuse me, KBLA.
No worries.
Family. Yes. I want to say this. They're going to put a hold on teaching the truth about Black history in America. Well, what do we have coming out now? The movie Bonaparte, okay, the little guy from France, the general, okay? They're going to blow that up. I can't wait to get outside and deface that thing when I see it down there again, okay? I'm telling you right now. The other thing is, don't say his name. Just say whatever number he was in the thing. Just don't say his name.
You don't want to hear his name anymore. Yeah, I know. I try not to, but he's in the news so much, it's hard to avoid it all. I usually say he who shall not be named, but sometimes it's like, golly, with all the trials and everything, you just want me to say 45. You don't want to hear the T word?
I got one more thing I need to put in here.
Yes, sir.
This whole gambling thing, the commentators in sports now, everything they say is about gambling. What has happened to the commentary on what's really going on? Did you do the commentary and all of a sudden they talk about the gambling thing? They are inundating our children. You are not hearing the horror stories now about young people gambling, doing all this betting. It's not on the news. It's not out there. It is causing havoc in families all across America.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I know that gambling is an addictive thing.
Yes, it is.
And I know that the restrictions are getting loosened up. Gambling on sports, gambling online is becoming more and more common. I haven't seen any numbers on how that's impacting young people, but I imagine it's probably pretty serious, just like, people are addicted to porn and all the other online addictions that folks have right now.
It's very serious,
I have to look into that.
If they arrest me, I'll be calling KBLA to come get me because I am defacing that Napoleon thing I see out there again. Okay? Just letting you know.
Oh, we have to bail you out because you go after Napoleon Bonaparte. All right, I'll let Tavis know. Wow. Are we now? Oh, yeah. We got your back. I don't know if we can bail you out, but we don't black down. You know that. It's 800-920-1580. That's the number Jamal and Florence and Fred called, and you can call it too. It is not too late to get in. I'm Dominique DePrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I'm here with Lisa Stevens, Senior Business Consultant with Chase for Business. Lisa, what's one tip you'd give to business owners here in the Crenshaw area?
I love that you asked that question. I'm originally from Brooklyn, and I grew up in an area that's very similar to Crenshaw. So this is near and dear to my heart. And if I could only leave a business owner with just one, I would tell the business owner to identify their why. And I think that is so important because your why is going to be that strength on those days where you feel like you're struggling. Your why is going to be that stepping stone. Those days that you want to give up, your why is going to be the reason that you get back up.
And how would you advise business owners looking to acquire capital? What do they need to know before stepping inside the branch to ask for funding?
So 3 things. I do want to share this when it comes to the power of capital and just finding those resources. Understand that capital is a 3-part of a business, right? It's not always about the monetary piece, but if you first put that intellectual, right? What do I need to know? That social, who I need to know, that will help you to then package for that monetary piece. So no matter who you're banking with, you should know your banker. Never walk into a bank and you're transactional only.
It's just like Lisa to drop gems. I'm Aisha Cairo in the community for KBLA with JP Morgan Chase.
Hi, I'm MC Light. You know me as the rapper. But guess what? I am the CEO of Sunny Girl Incorporated. We call it SGI. And SGI undoubtedly has a Cadillac, an Escalade to be exact. It's luxury at its finest. It's black, it's sleek, it's clean, and I can show up to any red carpet or any event and feel like I'm flossy. I love it. Cadillac.
Visit Cadillac.com for more.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Now I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because only the Sleep Number Climate 360 smart bed lets you each sleep up to 13 degrees cooler or warmer on either side, while you both sleep at your ideal level of firmness, comfort, and support, your Sleep Number setting. And now our all-new next-gen smart beds have temperature benefits, so you sleep better night after night. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, 800-920-1580 is the number. So much going on, and we're here for you to unpack it and to update you if you don't want to participate. I try to stay on top of some of these things just so you can stay on top of them. And I feel like there's so many things that don't get a lot of conversation in the mainstream that we ourselves can touch on. Who's reporting on the fact that Philadelphia is putting up a big Harriet Tubman statue? It's a 14-foot bronze statue of Harriet Tubman. It'll be the first statue in Philadelphia, which is known for its historical, patriotic things, of a black woman. And there was controversy about the first design. They went back to the drawing board. Now they've picked a winning design. Why was there controversy? Because they had picked a white artist to do a statue of Harriet Tubman with no RFP, no request for proposal, no competition, just saying, hey, you, a white person, make Harriet Tubman. Now they've actually had a competition and they've picked a winner, and Alvin Pettit is going to be making this 14-foot bronze statue called A Higher Power, the Call of a Freedom Fighter, and it will portray Harriet Tubman as a military leader and freedom fighter, which is an interesting take, and it's a beautiful thing. Let's celebrate and uplift those important figures, moments, movements throughout our history, especially as we see the pushback about doing so in the classroom. Who's that military hero? Oh, Harriet Tubman, who is that? We may get to that point soon enough. Let's go to Q calling us from Los Angeles. Good morning, Q.
Yeah, Grand Rising, my dear sister.
I'm going to get straight to the point. Before the Yom Kippur War, when Egypt took control over the Suez Canal, Israel was one of the nations that it refused to let them use the Suez Canal, because Suez Canal was originally, when it was built, it was to be shared, waterway to be shared by all. So fast forward, Israel decided, U.S., France, UK, and some of the Western powers, they decided to build a canal called the Ben Gurion Canal, which is to the north, to the east of the Suez Canal. That so that will be under the control of Israel. Now, when you look at it, the map, the way that it was laid out, to build it straight, it will go straight through the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, I have seen some articles and some social media posts about that. The Suez Canal is a really strategic canal, for those that don't track that, where cargo ships go through, and apparently it's like the major shortcut there through the Middle East. So you want to avoid having to go all the way around Africa to move cargo, and it's so crowded. They have it going one way for several hours a day, and then the other way several hours a day.
Yeah, you have 6 hours to go one direction, and then you have to wait another 6 hours. But this is that they will have to, if they build it, they will have to go around the Gaza Strip into the Mediterranean, and this is going to take a little bit longer. And so when you look at all this and you put all this together, it doesn't surprise me that Israel is still going around trying to level the Gaza Strip. In so doing, that will give them they want to take over. That will give them the opportunity to have the straight line cutting through the Gaza Strip. That way they wouldn't have to go around it when they're building the canal. So this Ben Gurion Canal has been on the drawing board for a while. So what is happening right now, the leveling of the Gaza Strip, it doesn't surprise me at all, one bit, that this is that they wanted to carry on with this plan. Look at Biden administration. It's full of nothing but Zionists. Blinken, yelling, and all of them, they're Zionists. If you France, the same thing. England, the same thing. So the construction of this Ben Gurion Canal has been under their...
I've heard that argument, and I'm looking here. I see a lot of articles about how, Israel has had the goal of building this Ben Gurion Canal, and so that they would have their own shortcut that they control, that other allies could use. But surely, there's lots of reasons for this conflict. That could be one. There's, the historic annexing and expansion of Israeli territory has been, going on, ongoing really since they were established as a state in 1948. In 1969, they expanded their territory. And with, settlers moving into what is considered Palestinian territory, they continue to expand. Netanyahu has said he sees Israel taking a security role in the region for a long time, which means basically occupying, as they do in the West Bank. And it's a subtle difference because they already control the borders, the electricity, the water, supplies going in and out. So Gaza, or the territories, that we know that would be Palestine, if we recognize Palestine as a sovereign nation, have been controlled by Israel for decades. And so the question becomes, what does it take for the world to recognize Gaza and the West Bank as Palestine? And what borders do they adhere to? And what sovereign rights do they have as a nation? Because if I can let people settle on your land, so that means I don't respect your borders, I control all of your resources. That's not really sovereignty. That's not really sovereignty. And so it seems like it's not rocket science, but of course there's more to it than that. But how do you every sovereign nation has a right to defend itself. Every sovereign nation has a right to exist. That's why we're backing up Ukraine. And yet there are no borders that anyone is bound at this time to honor when it comes to Palestine.
That's true. That is true. They wouldn't mind Palestinians having the West Bank, but the Gaza Strip, they want to take it. They want to take it for strategic reasons, for the construction of Ben Gurion Canal. They want to take it.
Well, Netanyahu has not come out and said that, right? I mean, a lot of people think that because they seem to be bombing it into oblivion. It's hard to imagine what it would take to rebuild Gaza. This idea of a humanitarian pause to me it doesn't make any sense. We're going to give you food and water and then bomb you into oblivion. We'll pause to give you food and water, and then we're going to keep bombing in UN schools and hospitals and, everywhere that Hamas might be. And it's hard for me to understand why we can even, with any straight face, say, okay, well, we'll just let this continue until they eliminate Hamas. Have we eliminated the Taliban? No, we haven't. And sadly, there are so many parallels because we know that Netanyahu, supported Hamas initially and then, now is trying to eliminate them just as the U.S. armed and supported the Taliban and then went to war with them. And then what did we end up doing? Leaving. Trillions of dollars later.
Yes. That has been our signature.
We'll
build you and we'll destroy you at our own.
Okay, but it's got to be a new day, right? There's new consciousness, new leadership. It has to be a new day. It's a new consciousness worldwide of people. And, no matter what, you don't get to kill children. You don't get to kill children.
But Dominique, how are we going to wake up people when this Zionists control all the media?
Well, you know what? That's an anti-Semitic trope. I mean, it really is. All Zionists control the media. Are there Zionists in media? I'm sure there are, but it's not. I think that this theory that one group or another controls the media, rich people control the media. That's who controls the media. Billionaires, oligarchs control the media, and they come in every stripe. I mean, Rupert Murdoch is from Australia.
There are Zionists all over. They are not only concentrated in Israel. They have them all over.
Well, sure, that's a political philosophy. But I just think when you get in, and that's when, and, we're going to have to go into news, traffic, and sports right here. But that's when you get into the confusion that's so problematic. If you don't know the difference between a political philosophy and a religion, then it's easy to either fall into being anti-Semitic or fall into calling people anti-Semitic for the political beliefs, and both of those are not clear-eyed, correct, and fair. All right, we're talking real estate, big changes, and how to overcome discrimination. You're going to want to stick around for this. Farrah Wilder is my guest. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. 5 Republican presidential candidates made their case for the Oval Office last night in the third GOP debate